All right. How's everybody doing today? All right. What I want to do today is talk to y'all about one of the most important things that can come from one amputee to another who has experience. I call him the devil's little helper, because when you make a deal with the devil's going to hold up on his part. I promise you he is. He's going to hold up on his part of the deal. But a fact is that the devil is smarter than you if you play his game. The only way to beat the devil is don't play his game. If you play his game, though, you're going to have to hold up for an end of the bargain that you wasn't agreeing to. What do I mean by that? Okay, when you take a pill, the devil's agreement is that them pills are going to help you. And they are. You know, they're going to help you in the short term. But as your body becomes dependent on them pills, something's going to happen to where when you quit taking them, your mind and your brain don't produce them same chemicals that are in the pills, because you were taking it artificially. So your brain is working on other stuff. Now your brain's like, oh, I don't have to produce dopamine and all these other chemicals that pills produce in your mind. Your brain goes to doing other stuff. When you take them pills away, now all of a sudden your brain is butt naked out there in public. Like it is freaking out because it don't have no dopamine in its system, none. That's what I mean about what you didn't agree to. You agreed to take the pills and for them to help. But you didn't know that you were going to be so dependent on them that now the only way you can do things is with these pills. So I come to you and beg you, please, if you just had a surgery and you're more than 7 days past that surgery, you got no business eating pills. You got no business eating no pills unless you're asking for trouble. And this is coming from somebody who's had a crushed hip. I'm talking about crushed, and I lost both of my legs below the knee, both of them. So I've got experience, 18 years of experience with pain pills and all this. And for the first 5 years of my amputee career, if you will, I was a pill junkie. And I mean, there's just not a better word for it, because I was eating all the pills I could get from my doctor. And then I was eating all the pills I could afford to buy in the street. But the thing about it is you will use justifications to wonder, hey, is old Kobe, his story's different from mine, so mine ain't the same. Everybody around me is making it, is saying that, you know, they're agreeing with me that I could take them. That's horse crap. Because if you think about it, you're an amputee, you just lost a limb. So nobody that truly cares about you and your family, nobody, when you tell them, oh, my arm's hurting, or oh, my knee's hurting, or oh, my hip's hurting, or oh, my back's hurting, nobody in your family is going to sit there and say, oh, no, you don't need that pill. They're going to tell you take it. Why? Because you made a good argument that's true. You might be hurting. But I promise you, don't do it to yourself. Don't, because there's going to be a period that happens where when you run out of that script and you're laying in the bathroom floor shaking and just like, dope sick. That's what the word is. When you're laying in that bathroom dope sick, my voice is going to click in your head and you're going to say, oh, Colby was right. I promise you I'm right. You can do anything without them pills. But when you start taking them, your mind likes it. Your brain likes it. Why? Because these pills were formulated in a science lab to like. They were made to like. They were made to make you feel good. They was not made for you to take them and say, oh, this is no good. I'm not going to like this. No, you're going to like it. That's the problem. I've been an amputee for 18 years. And like I said, for the first 5, I was a pill junkie. The only thing, this is probably the only time you're ever going to hear this from anybody, but prison saved me. It was the only thing out there that was going to get me off of pills. I've done been to rehab. I've done been to all kind of different things, and it took absolutely going somewhere to where I could not get them for me to get off of them. But that also let me know that I don't need them, you know, and I would never have found out any other way, because I couldn't go 8 hours without a pill. I couldn't go 12 hours without a pill because I start shaking, getting shivers. You know what it is. You know, you've done been there. But anyway, the reason I say prison saved me was because it got me off the pills. All right. Then, not only did it get me off the pills, but this lady comes to me about 6 weeks in to my prison sentence, and when I first left the county jail and I'm going to prison, and she's like, Okay, when the state, you don't have Medicaid, Medicare no more. The state's paying for your medical devices. Which one do you want? Prosthesis or a wheelchair? It's like, what? Which one? No, I need a spider wheelchair, and I need my prosthesis. You know, I was like, I ain't got no legs. I got to have both. And she was like, no, if you got to have both, then I would advise you to get the wheelchair because you don't have to have the prosthesis. And I was like, lady, that's how I walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just couldn't understand it. So I took her advice, and I just took the wheelchair to get me through the withdrawals, because I know for the next 6 to 12 weeks I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna feel bad. You know, like bad ain't the word. You know, you're gonna wish you could die coming off of pills, but it don't matter. It's worth it. It's worth it. Just push through, and once you've been sober for about 12 weeks, you're gonna see this. You're gonna have a change of mind. You're gonna realize that you can do things without the pills. All right, so I'm about 3 months into my prison sentence now, maybe 6 months, somewhere in there. And I go to see my caseworker, and I'm like, look, I want to trade this wheelchair in. I was like, it's killing me not being able to walk. I was like, and plus I got about 1.5 years left on my sentence. So I'm like, I really want to be a different person when I come out of prison. You know, that's everybody's goal if you get locked up. You know, everybody wants to be a different person when they get out. So I was like, I want to be comfortable on my legs. I want to be able to think about them like a pair of shoes. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, put my legs on, leave them on all day, and, you know, do my thing. So I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to do that sitting in a wheelchair. So she was like, now, are you sure this is the last chance you got to keep that wheelchair? I was like, I'm positive. Give me my legs. So they get a prosthesis down there, and they fit me and all that, and bam, I got my prosthesis on. Now I'm in prison with my legs. So you can imagine being in a 200-man zone that's about as big as a football field and a half, or about a football field, that every time I got out of my rack, I had to put my legs on. Every time we go to chow hall and come back, I had to put my legs on. And then all during the day, anytime I'm around in the zone, I had to put my legs on. So what that taught me was that if you, like, let me give you an example of in the world. When I was in the world and I would get a little bump on my leg, a little hair bump or a little blister or a little something like that. Oh no, I'm hurt, I can't wear my legs and I got to put this on it and do all this. No, your body is way tougher than that. And the thing about it is if you would just realize that, hey, that little bump on your leg, it ain't going to get too much worse than, you know, just a little bit. So just walk through it. Just deal with it. You might got to favor your leg a little that day. That's cool. That's cool, because what that suffering is going to do is it's going to put in your mind that this is just how it is, you know, that you have to be tough, that it ain't that these legs are never going to be as comfortable as shoes. It's that simple. I said it in my previous video, but it's the truth. If you're trying to compare these prostheses to a good pair of shoes and socks, then you're high. It's no comparison. Prostheses are prostheses, and there's two different kinds of people that wear prostheses. There's the people that's had them so long that they don't remember what it's like to not have them. And the same people fall in this category are the people that's had them since they were born. You know, the people that were born with a birth defect that's had prosthesis forever. They don't have the same mindset as people like me and like a lot of people out there who remember what it's like to have their legs. If you remember what it's like to have your legs, then you have something to compare them to. And if you do that comparison, then it's going to make you think these legs are uncomfortable, but they're not. They're not uncomfortable. What they are is exactly like they're supposed to be. You know, it's just not like a pair of shoes. It's that simple, but you can enjoy your life. You can get around, you can jump, you can do everything you want to do with these prostheses if you're just willing to put in the time and effort and to stay off the pain pills. Everything you do with these prostheses, you have to do with this, right here, with your heart. You have to do it with your willpower, and you have to do it with everything that's inside of you. I ain't going to mention no names because I do not like to be rude to other amputees, and I would never try to throw no shade I'd never try to. Anyway, I support other amputees, so don't mistake this as that. I hear somebody on YouTube that makes videos that's an amputee, and every single video they make, I hear them whining about how medical assistance is garbage and how the world wasn't made for them and why can't things be easier and blah, blah, blah. And if that's how you get out your stress, if that's how you get out with drama, that's cool, I get it, whatever. But my fear is that, say, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, or maybe even a 20-year-old, anybody that's new to being an amputee, if that's the first video they saw from an amputee, then they're going to think that that's normal, that that's acceptable behavior. And I guess it is, because nobody's ever going to be rude enough to tell you, hey, you're being a whiny ass. But the thing about it is that's the fact. You're just whining, you know. You're just whining too much. This world was not made for amputees. Does that mean the world ain't going to be, that the world can't be a fun place for us? No. Is medical assistance always going to go right? No, because we're all unique. And everything about each one of us is eerie similar, but extremely different. You know, what's good for me might don't be good for you, and what's good for you might don't be good for them. So if you go in there expecting everything to be roses, then you're going to end up disappointed every time. But if you go in there with the expectations of, if you just go in there, I even said that wrong, forgive me. Don't even go into a doctor's visit with expectations. Go in there, do what you got to do, and whatever the results are, deal with it. You know, be a problem solver. Don't be a drama queen. I mean, there's people out there that hear videos and that think, oh gosh, no, man, being an amputee ain't that hard. What it is an everyday thing, though. An everyday thing. I'm big on the 1% better. Just 1%. That's all you got to do. If you can be 1% better tomorrow than you was today, then tomorrow you ain't going to be but 1% better. And that's okay. But if you jump ahead a year and a half, 2 years, and you've been improving 1% every day, then you're going to be a different person in a year. Example. Today you're in a wheelchair and you're putting on your prosthesis for 20 minutes a day. That's all you can handle. I don't believe that, but if that's the case, cool. So tomorrow, wear them for 21 minutes. The next day, 22 minutes. The next day, 23 minutes. Do you see what I'm saying? And before you know it, or that's a good example too, or say today you been wearing your legs for 20 minutes, and as soon as they start getting uncomfortable, you take them off, okay? You decide whatever point that you think is uncomfortable, yeah? All right, so now tomorrow gets here. When you reach that point where you think that they're uncomfortable, start the clock on your phone and wait 5 minutes. Move around. Even though they're uncomfortable, you only got 5 minutes. You just started the clock. Move around with them. Even though it's uncomfortable, move around, walk, do your thing, and then take them off. Now, the next day, same thing. When you hit that point where your mind says, all right, they're uncomfortable, I'm ready to take them off. Start the clock on your phone for 6 minutes. Leave them on 6 minutes past your point of comfortability. What you're doing is you're expanding your point of comfortability by small increments. And before you know it, you're to a point to where you might wake up in the morning, and as soon as you put them on, it's uncomfortable, but you know you got 2 or 3 hours more of drive in you that you can push through it. And what's going to happen is eventually your leg is going to start to look like the bottom of somebody's foot, and you're going to be such a boss with these legs that you're teaching other people that other people are coming. That's whenever I knew I had arrived on the prosthesis side. Whenever people would come up to me and ask me, Colby, how do you walk so good? Or I would have known somebody like that I just seen casually in the street. I'll have known them for, say, a month or so. And they never knew I was an amputee until I decided to tell them, because I get around, I do everything myself, and that's how it's going to be. I don't need no help on a lot of stuff. Or no, let me rephrase, I don't want no help. And when I need it, I ask for it confidently. You know why? Because I don't ask for help on the things I don't need help with. So when I do ask for help, somebody knows I need it. Like if I'm moving furniture out of my house, I'll load up everything that I can load by myself. And then by the time I call a buddy and I'm like, hey, home, you'll come help me move. By the time he gets here, I got some dressers and a bed and stuff that I need help with. Everything else I've already done. That's what people want to see. People want to see you succeed. But if you've been through something terrible, then People will listen to you whine. They will listen to it, and everything you say they will agree with. Why? Because you've been through something terrible, and nobody that loves you wants to tell you, get up off your tail and get going. Or, hey, you know, whining for the first 3 months was cool, but I mean, it's been 8 months. It's been nearly a year. Don't you think you need to start singing a different song? All right, I'm going to leave it on that one, but in my next video, y'all are going to like. Y'all are going to like, because if you're an amputee, I got something to tell you about a new brand of shoes that I discovered that are fresh to death. I'm talking about they look cool. Ain't no shoehorn to put them on. Ain't none of that. They're the perfect shoes for an amputee, and obviously you can tell by my little weak amount of subscribers that I ain't monetized, so this ain't nothing I'm doing for the company to try to make no money. This is just strictly advice from an amputee for amputees, and that's the whole brand I'm pushing on YouTube. I ain't going to turn one video loose that I wouldn't want to hear myself back whenever I first had my accident. That is my brand. That's what I believe in. Advice by an amputee for amputees. If y'all have any questions, anything like that, please put them in the comments. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and anything I can do to make, you know, to help that along, just let me know. I had just spent some money on a new mic. I'm fixing to get a camera. I'm doing everything I can do, and I got a lot of good ideas for videos, but I didn't want to turn out my best ideas on a weak camera and stuff like that until I got a little better at making videos. But I'm trying. I'm watching all kind of videos on how to make videos. I'm putting a lot of time and effort in trying to learn how to do this for y'all, and I don't know. I just really appreciate the support. And any questions or comments y'all got, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer them. Thank y'all very much. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.